Today, June 14, 2025, marks a truly momentous occasion, the 250th birthday of the United States Army. It's a quarter of a millennium of service, sacrifice, and unwavering dedication to the defense of our nation. For 2.5 centuries, the Army has stood as a bulwark, defending our nation against all threats, both foreign and domestic. They have been the guardians of our freedoms, the protectors of our values, and the guarantors of our way of life. Born from the crucible of the American Revolution, forged in the fight for independence, the Army's legacy is inextricably woven into the very fabric of our country, a testament to courage and resilience. This anniversary is not just a date on the calendar, it's a time to pause and honor the extraordinary courage and profound sacrifice of generations of men and women who have worn the uniform. Americans everywhere are taking this moment to reflect on the Army's long and storied history, a history etched in battles fought and victories won. From the bitter cold of Valley Forge, where the Continental Army persevered against all odds, to the beaches of Normandy, where brave soldiers stormed ashore to liberate a continent, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. We also look ahead to the challenges and opportunities that lie before us, recognizing the modern Army's evolving role in a rapidly changing world and its embrace of advanced technology to meet future threats. Today's celebration is meant to unite the nation, to bridge divides and foster a sense of shared purpose, in pride and gratitude for the sacrifices made to protect our freedoms. But this year's festivities have, unfortunately, sparked debate and raised some important questions. The main event, a massive parade planned in Washington, D.C., a display of military might and precision, has raised legitimate questions and concerns about the delicate line between appropriately honoring the Army for its service and the potential for it to be perceived as a political spectacle. Some worry that the scale and nature of the celebration are becoming entangled in the divisive currents of current politics. At stake is a core democratic tradition, a principle that is fundamental to the health of our republic, the military's unwavering service to the nation as a whole, and not to any particular political party or leader. As we celebrate this significant milestone, we must also carefully examine how we choose to honor the Army, and what that choice ultimately means for the long-term health and stability of our democracy. The strength and health of our nation depends on vigilantly keeping the military above the fray of partisan politics. Let's explore the rich history of the U.S. Army, the nuances of the current debate surrounding the anniversary, and how we can best protect this vital trust and ensure its preservation for future generations. From the start, America's founders were wary of a military loyal to any one person. They established civilian control, the president commands, but Congress declares war and funds the military. This separation is a cornerstone of our democracy. Every soldier swears an oath to the Constitution not to a president, party, or ideology. This apolitical stance is essential for trust and stability, especially in divided times. Military leaders are expected to give honest advice even if it's unpopular. Soldiers in uniform don't campaign or protest for political causes. This neutrality reassures Americans and the world that the military serves the nation, not shifting political winds. When the line blurs, trust erodes and morale suffers. Politicization can divide the ranks and weaken effectiveness. That's why military leaders fiercely protect this tradition. The military's greatest strength is not its weapons, but the trust of the people. Preserving this trust is vital for our democracy. The Army's legacy depends on remaining above politics. The Army's 250th birthday parade in Washington, D.C. is a spectacle of military might. Tanks and armored vehicles rumble down Pennsylvania Avenue, while helicopters and jets roar overhead. The display honors every era, from Revolutionary War reenactors to today's soldiers in advanced gear. For many, it's a thrilling tribute to the Army's strength and history. The event connects past and present, showing the evolution of the American soldier. But such large-scale displays are rare in the U.S., more common in authoritarian countries. Traditionally, America marks military milestones with solemn ceremonies, not shows of force. Some worry this parade blurs the line between honoring service and glorifying power. The message it sends, to citizens and the world, is under scrutiny. Is it a celebration of sacrifice or a display of military dominance? The answer depends on perspective. The debate reflects deeper questions about how we honor our armed forces. The way we celebrate matters as much as the celebration itself. This year's Army celebration, a momentous occasion, coincides with President Donald Trump's birthday, creating a unique convergence of events. For supporters, it's a happy coincidence, a dual celebration of national pride and leadership, honoring both the Army, with its rich history and unwavering dedication, and the Commander-in-Chief, the civilian leader entrusted with its command. The President is the parade's guest of honor, a position of respect and authority, reviewing troops, a symbolic gesture of leadership and appreciation, and delivering a major address, setting the tone for the day's events. The event is promoted as both an Army celebration, highlighting its achievements and contributions, and presidential tribute, adding another layer of complexity to the occasion. Critics argue this blurs the line, potentially compromising the military's neutrality between honoring an institution, a cornerstone of our nation's defense, and celebrating a political figure, a potentially divisive act. The focus, they say, has shifted, raising questions about priorities, from the Army's legacy, its storied past and unwavering commitment, to the President himself, potentially overshadowing the military's achievements. This raises concerns, particularly among those who value the military's independence, about the military's apolitical tradition, a cornerstone of its legitimacy. The military's loyalty is to the Constitution, the supreme law of the land, not any individual, regardless of their position or power. When Army celebrations intertwine with a sitting president's birthday, a potentially sensitive combination, especially a polarizing one, it amplifies existing tensions. It risks appearing partisan, undermining public trust. Perception matters, shaping public opinion and influencing behavior. Even unintentional symbolism can have far-reaching consequences, can send powerful messages, shaping narratives and influencing perceptions. For some, it's patriotism, a display of national pride and unity. For others, it's a troubling politicization, a blurring of lines that should remain distinct. The same event is seen through vastly different lenses, in starkly different ways, highlighting the deep divisions within our society, depending on one's politics and their underlying beliefs. This controversy highlights the importance of maintaining clear boundaries, of keeping the military above political divides, ensuring its continued integrity. How we celebrate reflects our values and the principles we hold dear, and our democracy's health, its resilience, and its ability to withstand scrutiny. The Army's birthday parade isn't happening in isolation. Recent events have put the military in the political spotlight. Last year, National Guard troops were deployed in American cities during protests, an image that unsettled many. These deployments raised tough questions about the military's role in domestic affairs. Soldiers found themselves between orders and the emotional reality of civil unrest. Critics argued this blurred the line between public safety and political force. Another flashpoint, the president's partisan speech at Fort Bragg, delivered to uniformed troops. Such speeches put soldiers in an awkward position, required to attend but expected to remain apolitical. These events, combined with the parade, suggest a trend that worries observers. The concern, the military's nonpartisan norms are being eroded one event at a time. Each incident may seem isolated, but together they raise alarms about politicization. The stakes are high for the military's reputation and our democracy. Warnings about politicizing the military aren't just from pundits. They come from retired generals and admirals. These leaders, with decades of service, stress the dangers of using the military as a political prop. They argue it undermines public trust and confuses soldiers about their true loyalties. The question, is the Army's loyalty to the Constitution or to the Commander-in-Chief on display? Active duty officers, though less vocal, reportedly share these concerns. They work behind the scenes to protect the military's nonpartisan standing. Anything that distracts from readiness or unity is a problem. A politicized military is less effective and can hurt recruiting and retention. These are real-world consequences, not just theoretical risks. Leaders know the military's strength depends on unity and public confidence. Protecting that trust is their highest duty. Many see the Army's 250th birthday parade as a well-deserved celebration, not a political statement. Supporters argue it's a patriotic tribute to the men and women who serve. The display of military hardware is meant to inspire pride, not intimidate. It connects citizens to the soldiers and showcases American ingenuity. The president's birthday, they say, is just a coincidence. He's the commander-in-chief, so his presence is appropriate. Critics, they argue, are politicizing a unifying event. Patriotism and support for the military should transcend politics. The parade is a chance to thank the Army for 250 years of service. For many, concerns about politicization are just noise. They see a fitting tribute to America's heroes. Why does this debate matter so profoundly to the health of our nation? Because the U.S. military has consistently been one of America's most trusted institutions, a cornerstone of our society. That trust is carefully built on the fundamental belief that the military is rigorously professional, adhering to the highest standards of conduct, exceptionally competent in its duties, and steadfastly non-political, serving the nation without partisan bias. However, when the military appears to be taking a political stance, or is perceived as leaning one way or another, trust inevitably erodes, weakening the bond between the military and the public. If Americans begin to see the armed forces as aligned with one particular political party, the military fundamentally loses its crucial unifying role, becoming another source of division. This is incredibly dangerous for the health and stability of our democracy. We need an army that is trusted implicitly by any president, regardless of their political affiliation, and by all citizens from every walk of life. The public perception of neutrality, of impartiality, is just as critically important as the reality of that neutrality. Eroding trust inevitably makes it significantly harder to recruit qualified individuals, retain experienced personnel, and garner public support for the military. In times of national crisis, when the stakes are at their highest, a skeptical public may be hesitant to welcome or accept military assistance. Every single event that blurs the already delicate line between dedicated service and partisan politics slowly chips away at the foundation of public trust. The long-standing traditions that are in place to protect military neutrality are like essential guardrails for our democracy, keeping it on the right path. If we carelessly knock them down, we risk causing real and lasting harm to our nation. The military must resolutely remain above the fray of politics to faithfully serve the entire nation, and not just a single political party. Protecting and preserving that vital trust is absolutely essential for securing America's future and the well-being of generations to come. How do we protect the military's apolitical standing? Civilian leaders must respect military neutrality. No political rallies on bases, no partisan speeches with soldiers as props. Military leaders must give honest advice and educate troops about their oath to the Constitution. The culture of nonpartisanship must be fiercely maintained. The media and public must discuss these issues openly and fairly. We should praise leaders who uphold neutrality and hold accountable those who don't. Citizens must learn the history of civil-military relations to understand what's at stake. An informed public is the best defense against eroding democratic norms. Safeguarding military neutrality protects our democracy's fabric. The Army's 250th birthday is a time for celebration and reflection. We honor our soldiers best by keeping the Army a symbol of unity. By recommitting to these principles, we ensure the Army remains a force for freedom for generations to come.